Captain America Brave New World might be one of the most middle of the line Marvel movies that there has ever been when it comes to critical reception. You know, it got a B plus, it got a B minus cinema score, which is the lowest the MCU has ever received. But that didn't stop it, because this weekend it made $192.4 million worldwide on its opening weekend. Now that's great, because this film had a budget of 180, double that for marketing, so let's say 360 this film's got to hit to break even. So, you know, I've seen a lot of people, you know, we both enjoyed the film, and I've seen a lot of people celebrating online already going, people who said this film were going to fail, fuck you and stuff like that. It's like, wait a second, because we need to wait for that second weekend, first of all, to see what it's going to be like, if it's going to have legs. I'm glad that it's had such a big opening weekend. Look, it's nearly made what the Marvels made worldwide in its opening weekend. That's great. So, obviously, it's going to do better than the Marvels, but we just need to wait a little bit first before we can start celebrating. And look, if this film comes out, makes $450 million, I think Marvel's happy with that. I think they'll be happy with that at the end of the day. You know, because there's all these fake reports about the budget and stuff like that, and then the actual legal shit came out, and it's like, no, the budget's 180. Oh, this is actually one of the cheapest Marvel films we've had in a long time. So, we just need to wait for that second weekend. Then, we can celebrate. Kyle, are you surprised that this film hit where it was? Because we saw it twice on Friday. None of the screenings were particularly filled.
I mean, the evening one was fairly full. Not chocker, but it was fairly full. Look, I've said this as well, along with you. People are tired of bad comic book movies, the genre or whatever. People are just sick and tired of mediocre or bad comic book films, and that's where, like, you know, you get your flops like Joker 2, the Marvels. You know, the critical reception is a very key element, and I think with this film having such a mixed response, like, it's gonna hurt it, but it's not gonna.
And the Marvels and stuff like that, lower cinema score, but people still went out to see this more.
But the talk of the town, everything I'm hearing is it's okay, it's fine, it's not amazing. You know, some people say it's really good, and I'm happy for you if you enjoyed it. Good stuff. Some people who really hate it and despise it and think it's like a terrible movie, fine, that's your opinion.
Yeah,
but
I've seen.
There's a lot of people in like the sort of the middle, and I feel that's where me and Callum fall in. I like the movie probably a little bit more than most people, you know, well, but I'm just a big fan of Marvel films. But when it comes to sort of like it being heavily in the middle when it comes to the reception, you've got that element of people then, oh well, I've heard it's you know, not great, but I've heard it's pretty good, so I'll go check it out. Or I've heard, oh, this movie's not that great, I'll check it out and see what I think for myself. That's what I've been saying to people anyways. Like, I've been saying to people at work, is like, is it worth going to see? And I'm like, yeah, I would go see it. It's not like a Madam Web or a Morbius or the Marvels. You know, it's one of those films where I'm like, no, I can recommend this film, and you know, again, the you've got all the critical responses and the Rotten Tomatoes and all this, and it's not looking good for the film, which is what's going to probably hinder it down from making a lot more than it could have. But still, I think this is on track to hopefully make its money back a little bit more.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's sad, it's unfortunate. But I think it's one of those films that was in a very bad spot due to the previous management of Marvel. Obviously now that has thankfully all changed around. As we said before, earlier on, Daredevil has completely redone everything from the ground up, whereas Brave New World has kind of just like had a bit of a slight shift. It's not had, and I need to emphasize this, I know, just in case people didn't watch the previous topic, this film didn't have a budget of 350 plus million. There were no you know, crazy reshoots. They didn't have to redo the whole film.
22
That is
days.
all fake news. 22 days of reshoots, which is, if you look at other Marvel films, that's pretty good.
Average.
And it's one of the it's one of the cheaper Marvel films. Like Callum said, it was 180 million for the budget. So the whole, this going around, we can leave a video. I'm happy to leave a video link to that guy for that video you showed me.
Yeah.
If people want to just look into that, because it's
all
that negative
shebang.
press. I'm glad that has kind of washed away and faded away a little bit, so it's not as prominent when people are talking about this film. But still, it is an element of it being like, oh, I don't know if I'll go see this because it's had all these reshoots. But in reality, it didn't.
I'm going to tell you something right now, though, Kyle. I went to go see it this morning at 11 o'clock. Completely forgot it was the school holidays. But you know what? It were kind of packed. I think I'd say it were busier than Friday night. So, the UK here, we got a week where kids are off school. Now, I'd never make that mistake again because it was just kids just crying and speaking, and it's like, you can't get mad at kids, though. You can't get mad at kids.
I remember when we went to go see Black Panther, I think it was like the second or third time, or one of the times we went to go see it, and it was just like, there were just kids everywhere, and again, you can't be mad at them, that just kids, but they were just screaming and shouting and running around. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, but no. So I think it'll fare quite well this week in the UK. We're not the biggest market or all like that. There's been a couple of people who've wanted this film to fail since it got announced because it's got a black lead and stuff like that. All right, cool. You weren't gonna like this film. If they wasn't gonna like this film if it was the new Winter Soldier, you know what I mean? So there's some opinions out there which I just completely ignore because you know what agenda they've got, and they're gonna make more money from despising this stuff than they are just being honest about it. So
just like the person, which I won't name here. Again, watch the video in the link below. That is a really good video made by, I've forgotten his name, but really just
the whole shebang.
Yeah. The whole shebang.
So yeah, but Kyle. So if this film makes what? Let's say this film makes 450 million at the box office. Do you think Marvel's happy with that?
I think Marvel are like, as sad as it sounds, this is one of those films that was in that bad era.
Yeah.
And if they really wanted to, they could have gone extensive and heavy with the reshoots and things like that.
They could have done.
They chose not to. Yeah, they chose not to. They chose, look. They said, look, we are gonna still release the film as pretty much as it is. We might change a couple things here and there, like you said, 22 days of reshoots and all that shebang. But there's nothing much we can do unless extensively changing the whole film. Now, when it comes to a movie and a TV show, the budgets are very, very vastly different. So, why didn't they just give it the treatment that they gave Daredevil? Money, time schedules. These are big actors, big stars. They've got all these contracts and stuff. Whereas a show, because the budget's a lot smaller, doesn't say anything to the quality of it either. I'm just saying, in reality, you can probably kind of do that with a show. Whereas a big movie, you've got a marketing, you've got contracts to do all the toys, to do all these things, contracts with all the cinemas around the world.
Yeah.
You've kind of got to hit certain deadlines. And I think if Marvel probably had a bit more time with this and were willing to push it back, then we could have gotten something maybe a little bit better. But Marvel's pushed back enough now, and if they keep doing it, look at Blade, for example. That's fucking nowhere near to coming out. You've got the Avengers movies that are supposed to be coming out fairly soon. I know it's like 2 years away or whatnot.
It's a year away.
Well, it's a year away, I should say. Sorry, but I mean for the next one after as well.
About 15 months.
Yeah, so it's they can't push these things further back. They've just got to release it. If it gets lukewarm reception, And if it makes them okay money, then I think they're happy with that. I think that's probably the best scenario that they can get. Again, they've come off of, duds like the Marvels, which was, did horrible at the box office and critically. But they had a great success with Deadpool and Wolverine, so I think
Yeah.
that's what helped them a little bit with that. But
Yeah, no, definitely, because
yeah,
this is the first true MCU movie since the Marvels as well. Like, yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine is an MCU movie, and everyone like Marvel saved with Deadpool and Wolverine. We didn't count it in there because we knew it was completely different, production people. It were Ryan Reynolds' thing, not really Kevin Feige's thing. Don't get me wrong, we could have been out there and said Marvel saved and stuff like that because it fits. I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. That would have been a big one as well. We could have easily said that Marvel was saved with Deadpool and Wolverine because it would fit a narrative that me and Kyle would much prefer because we're big Marvel fans. But look, we've always been a bit apprehensive about things. And, my panties are down and ready for Daredevil Born Again, though. That's all I can say. So, yeah.
hell yeah.
Right. I think that'll do us for today, Kyle. Guys, what do you think of Captain America Brave New World's box office? What do you think of the film? Go check out our review. We've got a review. We took a cute picture in front of the big billboard outside the IMAX screen. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you... I don't know when we'll see you, but we will see you soon. Bye-bye.